We've already mentioned this, but this is a feel-good story for the ages.
We can sequel to Brokeback Mountain.
And you can throw the Putin in there as well. He likes riding bareback. So there's just it's
descended into farce.
It's fantastic. It's what we need. The fate of the free world could rest in Dennis's hands. And admittedly, you know, how many times was he league defender for the NBL? NBA.
Now he's the world defender.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, Michael Jordan did it in Space Jam. Why can't Dennis Rodman do it now?
Can you imagine a better
qualifications? He backed up his qualifications. We catch up and we sing karaoke and we ride horses. Done. That's it. Here he is.
Is this one of those things that the North Koreans are allowed to know about in their radio? Yeah, something that happened in the outside world.
Dennis Rodman, Kim Jong-un, and Donald Trump.
Yep.
Those three singing karaoke. What's their song?
That's
Gangman style.
We'll have to put that one over.
It's the start of a terrible joke. Like Dennis Rodman, Kim Jong-un, and Donald Trump.
Three people who have the worst hairstyles in history walk into a room.
That's just fantastic. And
get around him.
Get around him. Donald Trump, what are you doing? Get around him and start listening to him and get this peace treaty happening because Dennis Rodman, he's there and he wants it to happen. Now, we've got a bit more of a serious one, and this is an absolute fantastic story. And if you've got Facebook, social media, all the rest, you'd be living under a rock if you hadn't heard this one. But a big shout out to the Sydney Swans. Brucey, what's happened there?
Basically, the last game it was the last game of the AFL season. The crowd caught onto a young 14-year-old boy. Basically, what looked out, he was giving commentary to his younger brother. It turns out his younger brother's deaf and is blind, so he can't obviously see what's going on. So he's got his headphones on, and the batteries died in there. So the brother took over commentary for the game, and basically, once the Sydney Swans became aware on social media of what was happening, they got hold of the boys, found out where they are, got them in before the game, got them to meet all the players, ran out on the field with the team, and sat in the coach's box, all courtesy of the Swans. So I think that's just a footy club done good. That was warms your heart when you see that or hear that. So
we talked earlier about what the Australian Rugby Union, how they treated their young fans, and that's obviously wrong.
Yep.
The way the Sydney Swans are showing them exactly how you treat your fans, and none of us are Sydney Swan fans in here, and we're certainly advocates of what we did. Oh, exactly right.
Jeez, I'm jealous of that kid actually after our game, after our performance.
I felt like I was blind as well. You know. Couldn't watch.
Wish you were blind. Yeah.
That was woeful.
That was hard to watch.
That was, but and by all accounts, from the people that were videotaping this kid commentating, he was better than half the commentary team that they had to listen to anyway.
Wondering BT going on there.
Yeah, that's it. You know,
might get him a gig on doing the football next year. It's.
I reckon, yeah, and you know what? The Swans are that type of team that probably won't stop from here. They will follow up and they will keep in touch, and you probably find those little guys have a good little future, and they've got members for life, really. And, from a simple gesture. So no, well done to Sydney. That's fantastic. We are going to have a quick break, and we're going to come back with the blowtorch, and we've got a few blowtorches to get through this time. There's a few people that have upset at least one of us with something, so we'll get onto it. All right, and we're back. You're listening to Alby, Brucey and Donny. We are in the sheds. I managed to turn the right mic on this time, so coming through loud and clear. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. We're in the sheds at 88.5 FM. Sorry, what have we got, mate?
Just a quick shout out to Sean, the Assassin Olashenko. Thanks a lot, Shawnee, for your... Actually, I think that's the second time I've called you Sean in your life, so there you go. So, apparently that's correct. The netball grand finals are on this weekend.
Well, I feel a bit better now that we've got some confirmation there. So we're going to go into the blowtorch, and we'll start with you, Donny, because we've probably talked this up a little bit before the actual team. So now we're gonna give them a bit of a smackdown. And so what's got you upset?
Hey, the West Coast Eagles. I mean, we did talk about it earlier, and how it was a fantastic win. And when I turned on the radio Monday morning, jumped in my car, started driving to work, what I expected to hear on the radio was something along these lines. Was I expected that West Coast Eagles fans to be calling in and talking about how they were lucky to sort of scrape into the finals. They worked hard and they made it through, and then they've gone to Adelaide to take on the team that finished 5th, and they've knocked them off in their backyard. How bloody good is this? Now we're taking on GWS. They're wounded. They're going to be without a couple of their superstars who are gone for the season. They haven't been in good form. We can beat them. Then all of a sudden we're in a prelim against Richmond, who are the serial chokers of the competition. Then we're into a grand final.
What did you hear instead?
Instead of hearing that, I've heard nothing but whinging. I have never heard a group of fans who have won whinge as much as the West Coast fans were on this radio station. Instead of celebrating the fact that they won, they felt that they had to justify themselves to three-toothed, two-headed Port Adelaide fans. The Port Adelaide fans, they lost the game. They can whinge all they like, but it's not going to change the result. I don't understand why the West Coast fans were jumping up and down and complaining and carrying on and saying, oh, what about this one? What about, it was a free kick, or it was touched off the boot, or it was kicking in danger, or, it should have been decided in normal time if this happened or that happened. Who cares? You won the game!
That's it. Just point to the scoreboard, say we've got the 4 points. Well, we've got all the points.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I must admit, though, with the umpiring, it was good to see in the last quarter there was a few incidents where, the player gets pushed and he gets thrown like he's in Dragon Ball Z and he's just been blown across the thing. And the umpire's like, no, I'm not having any of that. And it was good that a decision, it wasn't, that would have been a controversy. If that had been paid, that would have been controversy. Free kick was there, and I agree, yeah, the players just need to get over it. The supporters, you won. Get over it. You're in.
Yep.
Come to our side of the fence if you want to complain. We got smashed by the Sydney Swans, okay? We've got every right to whinge and complain.
Buddy on one leg kicks 4 against us, So,
you know what? I saw him and I went, you ripper, he's injured. And then he kicked 4 goals, and I was like, right, I wish he was normal. I want him to be back to normal.
He would have kicked 10.
It's a case of sometimes I believe the media has to bring something up to justify their existence. But me, honestly, watching the West Coast game, hardly notice the umps.
Yeah, no, I was...
And everyone says, if you look at it in slow-mo...
The game's not played in slow-mo.
No, and the umpire, he gets one look at it. And every time I look at it, I go, that's there.
Yeah. If you watch that, at full speed, it looks like a free kick every day of the week. But again, whether Port Adelaide fans, they've got every right to. They're always going to blame the umpires,
and they've got to live in Adelaide.
Yeah. What's the hashtag free kick so team? I mean, that's every game. There is someone won because of free kicks. I mean, I've seen the Essendon, one of the Essendon games. I think it was against St Kilda. We won by 60 points. Some bloke was blaming the umps for that. Mate, how can you blame the umpires?
There's 10 goals.
No, you stunk, okay?
Yeah.
Your team stunk.
I know there was Geelong fans that were complaining about the not only the fact that they had to go play at Skilled Stadium, but they were play at Skilled Stadium, but the fact that they're blaming the umpires for that loss. It's like, no. You played terrible. You played absolutely terrible. And if you can't play at the MCG, guess what? You ain't going to win a grand final. And you've won enough. It's someone else's turn. Go to the back of the line, start again, and work your way up, okay? Because we're... you, Hawthorn, you guys, Sydney, go to the back of the line. You've had your turn. Let another team that hasn't been there for a while have a crack.
Did anyone tell Sydney that yet? No.
I sent a message to John, but he didn't really care, so he just told me bugger. He said, "Who are you?" And you do know his number. So, look, my blowtorch I want to put on is the Brisbane Lions. Brisbane have once again applied for a priority pick, and I think it's an absolute joke. They have built a good midfield. They've got a good back line. and they've got a good forward line. And they didn't play that bad this season. They were pretty competitive all year. Yes, they finished on the bottom of the ladder, but they were pretty competitive. So to ask for a priority pick when your team is... I mean, you look at the Gold Coast, you look at Fremantle, they don't look like they've got any future anytime soon, especially Gold Coast. They God knows what's happening there.
They're a menagerie.
But Brisbane Lions, your team is playing good football. You have a great young list. You've got a great set of core players to build around. Stop your whinging. Stop asking for this priority pick because you're not going to get it. The AFL isn't going to give it to you.
They wouldn't give it to him last year.
Nah, if they didn't give it to you last year when you were a basket case, they're not going to give it to you this year when you're playing good football. Get on with it and go play football.
For a football club that have won, the three-peat.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? 2001. So, guess what? There's a few footy clubs that'll be gladly swap you for that history. So
yeah, exactly. And
I'm a St Kilda fan, so yeah, I would.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Got a priority pick, get stuffed.
Well, in what circumstances would a priority pick be granted? Because I know everyone sort of points to GWS and Gold Coast as getting all those priority picks, but they got that because they were building their club. They were just starting out. They're a brand new club, so they got the priority picks to build them into a competitive unit. It worked at one of them, it didn't work at the other, but
they were working on a principle of you win 2 wooden spoons and, hardship and games won and lost throughout the season that you qualify for that priority pick.
Yeah.
So if you won less than X amount of games and you finished last in 2 years in a row, they'd give you a priority pick. But
you have to look at those losses, though. I mean, a lot of those losses were very competitive games. I mean, even North Melbourne, there's a few games there that, I mean, the one against Geelong definitely comes to mind, but there was a lot of games there that they, just because of youth and inexperience, let slip away in the last, the dying minutes of the game, and that's going to come with experience to the guys. A priority pick is not going to fix that, and I don't know why they're asking for it. You're already going to get pick 1. Go shopping, pick a local, because you can't hold on to your Melbourne boys, and you really struggle to hold on to them, and start again. Next season is looking a lot brighter for Brisbane than it is for Gold Coast.
At the end of the day, their problems, they've had a lot of problems off the field. Their management off the field has been
diabolical.
Well, yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, and Gold Coast said, I see that, and I'm going to raise you our season and our diabolical mess.
I'll show you a train wreck. That's not a train wreck.
No, that's a dead set plane crash. That is just. If anyone deserves, and no one deserves a priority pick, but Gold Coast is definitely the ones that are looking like they don't have much of a future at the moment. And we'll see who gets the coaching job out there. But I dare say the AFL will have a bit of input in on that one. We'll go to the last blowtorch, Brucey. You've got one as well.
Breaking news.
It's just breaking news. Obviously, in the coming weeks, bit of a Wildcats fan, but apparently Matty Knight is injured again. Apparently he's done his thumb and will miss most of the pre-season. Well, he will miss the pre-season. Apparently he's got a broken right thumb with ligament damage. There is no update as to how it occurred, but judging by the ways Matty Knight gets injured, I can only assume it was, maybe a tea towel or a severe water bottle injury or something like that. It's that,
He's trying to catch a ball.
No, you won't do it like that. That's how normal people get injured. Not Matty Knight. So, he's probably... He threatened to retire last year, and I think he threatened to retire the year before, and I think it's... Yeah, the time's there, mate. It's... If you're getting broken bones like a retirement home person...
Yeah. Maybe he's not drinking enough of his milk.
But look, he has had some of the most bizarre injuries we've ever come across, and I think one game last year he got knocked out and missed 3 or 4 games because someone brushed his chin, got a little bit of his bum fluff wiped off, and that was it. He was out for 2 weeks. So, but he's a very big man, and if he ever sees me on the street, I'll run like a manly girl that I am.
Yep. No worries. We just have to run into him gently.
Yep.
That's all good. And now we did mention before that we were talking about it off mic, about the obscure injuries. So if anyone